Hey friends, this is my Survivor Sony PS2700, not a PlayStation. It's 2700. It's PlayStation 2700. It was a PlayStation before there was a PlayStation. Alright, anyways, enough joking. Alright, so this is a completely manual belt-driven turntable. So there's a motor that sits over here that drives the belt that's connected to the platter. And the platter then is connected to the spindle, and the spindle has a gear on it that runs everything else. Look at the previous videos or next videos or however the videos landed on YouTube, and I'll go through how that works. Now, this turntable has we're going to simulate an issue. Let's say that the tone arm is not dropping in the correct spot. Okay, that's interesting enough. Okay. There's not a cartridge and stylus on here, so don't worry. And this is a sacrificial record too. Yep. All right, so let's say we wanted to change that drop point. All right, so let's kill it. It'll come around and decide it wants to stop at some point. There we go. And you've got this little plug right here, and on most turntables you have one little plug here that helps you manage the drop point. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pull that little plug off, and you're going to get yourself a nice, long, thin screwdriver that I have one, not this one, maybe it's this one. Yes, it's this one. See? Long, thin, and actually it wasn't thin enough, so I had to take and sandpaper it down. Anyway, so I will move this in here and move that dial around. Now, some of the times the dial is like positioned where if you have the tone arm in rest, it's here. Sometimes it actually has to be over here to adjust it. Okay, two different positions, several different turntables, one ring to rule them all. Okay, anyways, that's how you adjust the drop point on this kind of turntable. Now, the problem with this kind of turntable is that there is no auto return adjustment. Why they didn't do that, I don't know. And this is a problem on a lot of them. Like in a dual, there is a stippen pimple or a pimpin stipple, or it's a pimple. It's a pimple thing, and it connects to a lever arm, which then has some grid on it that catches it and moves it. Those things are always dead on duals. And anyways, I digress. Let's talk about this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it go ahead and start, kick it on, and we're going to look at the auto return function. We're going to say hypothetically, after it gets going, that it's going too far into the record. Okay, it's going too far in here. Okay, so theoretically it touched this, and we don't want it to do that. And some of the times actually it'll come against this and it'll just sit there and rub right in here. And I have lost a stylus because I had a turntable that was not returning on the auto return function, and it just ate up a needle. This paper will wear a needle down really quick. So, all right, let's take and examine how that actually functions. So what I like to do, and just for my own security purposes here, my own knowingness purposes, I rubber band this dude down. Again, sacrificial record, you might be able to see it, but this thing is, woo, shot. Somebody took a Crayola to it. Good luck ever getting that crap out. All right, so, and it's Steppenwolf too. Steppenwolf Live. It looks like a red Crayola. Anyways, all right. So, let's look at the inner functionings of this turntable. Oh, look, there's the pliers. I needed those. Okay, when we hit the play button, we're going to actually, and I want to make sure that you guys can actually see this. Let me check. Oh, good. I'm glad I checked that out. All right. Now you can see better. All right. So this lever right here, which is the start, stop, and repeat, is going to act on this lever. So this is kind of a gear, a positioner or something. All right. So it's going to work on this lever. I'm moving it right now, which is going to work on this lever. And this lever is going to work on the large gear that sits next to the spindle. Now, if you want to look at that gear and how that works, look at one of the other videos. The other video I explain how that trigger mechanism works. There's two different positions, or two different triggers that run, one to stop, one to start. Okay, so this is going to get moved into position. Oh, and it's trying to move right now. Okay, and let's unplug this, because that's just asking for a disaster to happen. Okay. By the way, unplug your turntable before you turn it over and start working on it, because check this out. This is AC voltage coming into a resistor, and I believe, now that it's not plugged in, maybe I can goof with this a little bit. I believe that is a capacitor. I can't tell. It's covered. It's got some plastic on it, coming right to the motor. So this motor is like running some pretty high voltage. Okay, anyways, so what happens when we hit that go button, when we hit the go, it's going to act on this, and then it's going to be in the play position. Okay, so the turntable is going to spin, it's going to spin, it's going to spin, and you can see everything in here moving, right? Okay, so let me take the rubber band off and let it move freely here. I'm going to spin it by hand. You're going to see everything move. And you'll see down here there's this little arm that's going to catch a lever right here, and it's going to push it in. Come on, stay on, buddy. It's going to push it into the start position, and then it's going to stop. It's going to actually basically stop. See how it bounced back? And that's when it drops. And that's this thing, when it pops back, it drops the tone arm. Okay, so this and the tone arm are in lockstep. See how I'm moving it? So what happens is that tone arm, as it's coming in, it's going to hit this same mechanism that does the start-stop on the other large gear. So what it's going to do is it's going to come in here, and it's going to come against this, and eventually, so this will actually be setting. Let's get it back into start position here. Come on, buddy. You want to go back to start position, don't you? Okay, let's just pretend it's in start position. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to come in here. There's a little spring-loaded piece here, and when it gets enough tension on it, it's going to pop it. And it's going to say, and then it's going to trigger the mechanism, which is going to move the gearing. And let's get it over here. Okay, so you see how this reset? So now it's going to trigger this, and what it's going to do is, as we keep moving here, come on, it's probably not going to do it because it's like, it's got stage fright. Let's see here. All right. We'll force it to go here. Okay, so what's going to happen is that gear, once it gets going, is going to this is your return catch. So what it's done is it's triggered it, and now it's going to return catch, and it's going to push it back down, and eventually it's going to catch against it, and it's going to push it down again, and it will then rest. Okay, and that's how it works. So we just went through a full cycle. That was really prolonged, but let's go through it one more time. Okay, so here is a start. Okay, so she is now in start position, and she's running. Now it's she's run to the beginning of the record. Well, let's not do that. Let's do this again. Okay, so now we're done. Okay, we just hit play, and now it's going to catch. It's going to push it. Again, the tone arm's sitting about right here, right where the record is. See how it let go of it, and now it's going to go back and it's caught it, and it's going to go back. All right, we'll do that one more time just to be sure. Okay, play, hit play. It's going to go play. All right, it's playing. All right, it just hit the end of the record, triggered it. Now it's going to move back. Okay, so you know what, you can imagine how this all works. I'm sure you can. But anyways, it's this right here. This is the thing we need to adjust. It needs to touch this sooner. If it's auto return functioning is functioning too soon in the record, you need to back this off. If it's happening too late in the record, you need to advance it. So let's talk about advancing it. So on some of these, there we go. On some of these, well, let's just talk about this one. On this one here, this small little screw right here is what you need to move. And to advance it, you're going to unscrew it. So counterclockwise. So let's do the counterclockwise. No, clockwise. I don't know what I'm doing here. You can only imagine how confused I am right now because I can't even. There we go. All right. Now this is the wrong way. This is. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, counterclockwise. I'm confused because I'm looking at it upside down. I apologize. All right. Gosh, you guys. I'm batting 100 tonight. It's been a long week, man. Okay, so actually when you move this first, if it hasn't been moved before, there's some Loctite on here and it'll kind of pop a little bit. That's okay. But I use a pair of pliers to kind of grab it and move it because getting a screwdriver into this is just it's right next to impossible. So don't know why they designed it like this, but essentially I'm unscrewing this screw out of here to advance this. So when I screw it in, it pushes it out. When I screw it out, it lets it rest closer to this. And that's the ultimate goal, is to move this just a hair fraction closer to that. And that will pick it up sooner. All right, so let's just give it a... No, let's not. Let's call the video good. I've confused everybody enough at this point. If you are really confused by this video, put it in the comments. And if I've confused enough people, I'll try to do this another go. I'll give it another go when I'm not so tired. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever it is that you're at, whatever time of day. Have a good day.